All right, we're going to take one of our macro photography shots and do a little project with it. Let's take your macro shot, and first off, let's resize it so it's not humongous. Image, image size, and let's just go ahead and set our resolution to 150 and your width to, let's go 1,000 pixels since that's what we normally go with. Okay, width of 1,000 and resolution of 150. It'll set the height, hit OK. And then, of course, zoom up so you can see it okay. So here it is at 100%. We're going to duplicate this layer so we have 3 total. So just drag this down to the little piece of paper button and then drag it down again. So we've got copies. We're going to turn off the copies, and I want you to do something artistic to the bottom layer. We're going to right click it, make it a smart object, then go up to filter and filter gallery, and I want you to pick some filter. So here's an example of one under brush strokes. There's spatter, crosshatch, ink outlines, dark strokes. All kinds of different stuff. Just find one that you like. Any of them is fine. I'm going to go with this colored pencil because that sounds kind of exciting. I'm going to hit OK. If you wanted to, you could do a blur filter or something crazy like that, but there's really no reason to. So this is my artsy background. Got that there. Okay. Then I'm going to turn on my next background. I'm going to press Control T, and we're just going to scale this down, holding Shift, of course, from the corner. You're just going to put this on here, rotate it around a little bit, and hit OK. And then I'm going to ask for you to put a stroke around this. I'm going to say probably a maybe 4 or 5 pixel white stroke with a drop shadow. So we're going to hit our FX button, go to stroke, white. I'd say 5. We want it pointed, so that's going to be inside. And there we go. And we'll just add a quick little drop shadow on there. So this one is all good. Looking good there. So we're happy with that. So I'm going to call this the normal one. That's my normal one. That's just the normal picture that we took. And then this is our copy. And this one we're going to do what I'm going to call the pop-out version. So this is the pop-out version. We're going to turn this on. We'll have to Control T. This one we're going to put in the opposite corner. And don't make it too little. It can overlap, and that's fine. This one's just going to be straight. We're not going to rotate it or anything. So with this one, we're going to select whatever your little object is. Okay, we're going to select whatever the little object is, and we're going to make it pop out of the picture. Now for that reason, we're not going to use the entire picture. So this gets a little sketchy, so bear with me. I'm going to take my quick selection, but you can use anything, and we're going to go ahead and select your object. Now you don't really have to select the entire thing, but you do need to select at least the top half. The bottom half isn't going to matter. We're going to make the top part of this stick out of your picture that we're going to use here in a second, okay? So once we get this part selected, and you can select the whole thing, it's not going to hurt anything to select, not the whole thing. That's definitely not what we want. But anyway, I'll just leave it like this. This is fine. Okay, so once I have this, I'm going to go into Select a Mask, and I'm going to put this out on just a new layer with a layer mask. So new layer with layer mask. We're going to hit OK. This is just the little chunk. We'll call this the pop out chunk. This is the chunk. Now turn it off for now because we don't need it at the moment. And let's get back to this one. Now we have to decide what part we're going to keep of this. Now remember, we're going to have a little chunk pop out at the top. So don't keep the top of the object that you have. Okay. Now I'm going to take my rectangular marquee tool because we're just going to draw a rectangle. Okay. But we want to keep as much of your picture as you can, except we want this sticking out the top, okay? So here I go. I'm going to do like this, okay? Something like this. Whatever shape you want it to be, okay? Now, we're going to just hit the layer mask button. So we basically chop off the part that we're not going to use. The good thing is we're not moving anything around. Once we did this initial part, we're good. Now here's what's cool. When you turn this on, see this little part looks like it's sticking out the top. And that's what we call a pop-out effect. And that's basically the gist of this assignment. The last thing you're going to do is copy this stroke and drop shadow from this one and put it on the pop-out version. So to do that, you just right-click right here where you have your stuff and copy the layer style. Click on the pop-out, not the chunk, just the pop-out, and then right-click and paste the layer style. And it's got the exact same settings as that one over there. Guys, that's literally it. The last thing you're going to do is use your little shape that you created. So come in here, get your custom shape, grab your shape, and in this corner where we don't have anything, we're just going to go ahead and draw our shape. Be sure it's set to shape over here so it actually draws a shape. White is good so it matches the stroke. And then we'll just pop this up in the corner. No reason to do any transparency to this one. We're just going to leave it in here like so. And that is it. That's what you're going to do with your favorite macro shot that you took in class the other day. Once you finish, of course, save this as normal and then export it out as a JPEG. You're going to upload this to your blog. This will be the very first picture on this blog post for macro. Below it, you will have your 3 shots. This needs to be a nice big image. Those 3 other shots can be smaller. That's fine. With each of those 3 shots, you need to get into Adobe Bridge and look up the stats on those pictures. I just want you to tell me 3 things. What is the aperture? What is the shutter speed? And what is the ISO value? You are going to record those things right underneath the picture. They can even be in a bulleted list. That's totally fine. And that's all that you have to do on that. So, get to it.